back. You don't have to be up here. You could just be shock darting for your team right now to keep them from peeking that spot.
I'll say it.
Got it.
Think of your shock darts as a zoning tool. This is what we were talking about in the last VOD, actually. It's not about killing people. If you kill people, that's a bonus. If you have a set, you know, shock dart lineups, stuff like that, that's really cool. But just shock darting here, 1, and then 2, prevents him from peeking out. And that allows your team to move in a lot more easier. They know exactly where he's going to be coming from if he's going to peek him. So many times, chat, I see students just using their utility to replace a gunfight sometimes, when they should be using it, like their mollies specifically, or their nades specifically, to replace a gunfight altogether. They're just trying to kill people with their utility. Unless it's a raise nade, it's like probably not. Even raise nade can be used as a zoning tool, right? It's probably not best used for that. It's better to use to just like stall out positionings on the map and prevent them from moving in. Do you want free coaching? Well, now you can. My coaching is absolutely free at my Discord. Here you'll find an inclusive community full of awesome people wanting to improve just like you. Simply join, submit a VOD following our submission guidelines, and voila, you're in the queue. But how am I making this possible? Well, that's thanks to the generous Patreon supporters just like you. Tier 3 Patreon supporters get access to exclusive 10-mans, pro VOD reviews, and a private draw for coaching on top of increased odds for the main draw of coaching. What are you waiting for? Join up today. I see someone using utility a certain way for a certain purpose, but they do it over and over again. I often ask the question, how else could you use this utility to benefit yourself, right? For example, if we're to use shock darts, what are 20 ways you can use a shock dart? Can you list off 20 ways you can use a shock dart?
I can try. So you can kill util.
Okay, good.
You can hurt someone.
Right.
You could zone, as you mentioned.
Yep.
I don't know, like fake presence somewhere.
Yep. There you go. Now you're thinking. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think I can get to 20 though.
There's more. Who could you combo your shock darts with?
Fade sees. Killjoy ult, if you know that they're going to be somewhere, you can dart there.
You could stall out their escape from Killjoy ult, for example. You can land them on the entrances to zone them to keep them in the Killjoy ult, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can obviously have lineups to stall out plant, you know, stall out diffuses. Those are all things that you can be using them for. So we're up to about 8 now, right? So normally what I would say is, what I'd recommend you do is write down 20 uses. That way, when you get in these situations again, where you're like, I have 2 shock darts, and you see the situation pop up, you're like, oh, I can get value on this by doing this now, right? That's going to open your mind to different possibilities. Shock darts are definitely a harder one. I usually like to do it with ults. Like, who can you combo your ult with? What's your ult good for? You know, Ray's ult's a very easy one that you can rhyme off 20 right away. They might push into you. This could work. Oh, I was saying this could probably work. The reason why is because I figured they would be looking towards this spot, just that area there. And because the flash popped and there was no one there, he was going to feel confident that no one's going to be A-man.
Right. Is that lucky?
Yeah. It was the right play. 3 on A, we just go hit B now. You can drone towards A. So what you're doing in this situation, you're a lurker. There's specific rules for the lurker. The first rule is exist as long as possible, because we're trying to be an antagonist the entire time. The second rule is to get as much value as you can and try to hold off rotations. So in this situation here, if you can throw a drone in, that's going to maintain these 2 players on A a little bit longer, so that these 2 can rotate, or these 3 can rotate and take a better fight. Again, KJ's got full control of B here as well. So you being able to throw something towards there is probably going to have a massive effect in terms of our team rotating and being successful.
That makes sense.
And if you leave here, now they have no reason to be at A. Now, no reason to be at A, so now they're going to be making contact with Jet. They're probably right at the spot. They'll make contact with Jet in approximately 5 seconds. 5, 4, never mind, the smoke's out. This is good.
Come on B, come on B.
2, 1. Now they're here, so Jet will make contact right now. See? Now, had you been throwing a drone in, it would have been, you know, 2 to 3 seconds. They might have just been coming right here at this point. 2 to 3 seconds longer.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And those 2 to 3 seconds could make the difference between the bomb exploding and not. Right? Like, this is good. You're stalling out this one person here. This is perfect. That means it's a 3v2 maximum on site right now. And this is important because Foofinch is saying I'm the knower, but it's just literally, guys, there's nothing that I'm doing here that you can't do, right? There's nothing that I'm doing here that you can't do. It's just based on looking at, we had 1 to 2 here. So I'm saying to myself, if I were them, the path to victory is through the eyes of the opponent. When would I start rotating? Well, they're making contact on mid, and there's a whole bunch of people here. So they're probably like, well, let's just start moving right now, right? So give or take, you'll be able to kind of approximate based on seconds where people are going to end up being. So like one thing that I would consider doing here is double shock darting back here to confirm that that spot is safe. So we know it's clear. And now you can like move up and just fight dice a little bit easier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That would have been cool to double shock dart that.
Right.
Alt. So you can totally combo alt that. One thing that you want to start doing is even just like once a game. It's good to do that so that they are constantly worried about your drone. It's kind of like if a Raze were to ult. What do you do when the Raze ults?
Run away.
So you need to put fear into the enemy's heart about your drone when you have this ult active. So just by doing it once per game, you set a tone for the entire game. Even if you don't kill anyone. Okay, so a couple things that we've definitely hammered on here. Using those shock darts for zoning tools is one big key. Using your drone ult at least once through the game to make them worry about your drone. This sets a lot of precedence and allows for so much more space taking for your duelists. Because as soon as your ult is procced and you put that drone out, they run away from it. So now your team can move in off that drone.
Yeah.
Take flight.
Using it here is a little bit too much of a commitment. We're not getting a ton of value out of it.
Yep.
Ready. Come on, let's go. Watch your eyes.
Launching smoke. Revealing area.
First up B. One.
Other thing that you want to start considering doing is timing when you want to throw this dart. So if you see your teammate moving in, like toss it in right away, because as they're coming in, they're going to be looking here and fighting him. That dart now hits, and they're not going to be focused on the dart. That will scan them. So the timing of where you throw your dart or where you throw your eye and your fade is very important. Very key.
That makes sense.
Watch your eyes.
Launching smoke. Revealing area.
It's like just on contact, basically, when they're coming in. That's when you want to do it.
119 solo.
Gotcha.
Right here.
So like, what's your team's plan right now? You guys looks like you're going to push up, right?
Yeah, I told everyone to run it down.
Okay, cool. So I would throw the dart from sight and have it land deeper. So that they're looking at that. It's a distraction so that everyone can move in forward.
Got it.
This works fine too.
Last lane.
Watch your eyes.
The difference between throwing it there is that it lands faster, whereas the other one would be floating through the air and they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, we got to deal with this. We got to deal with this. Right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're able to move up a little bit more. Because they gotta kill it once it lands, right?
That's right.
It's a small thing, a small detail. It doesn't make too big of a difference, but it might, you know? Okay, so same idea here. You could use a dart to be a deterrent as opposed to trying to scan someone. Okay, so this is another utility usage thing. What I would do is I'd back up to lane, I'd count 3, 2, 1, then I would dart on this corner right here. So it's up nice and high so they can't see it. They have to run right in. Okay, so on the corner as in like right against the wall, if you can.
Yeah.
So it would be, let me go back just a little bit. It's a fraction, so you can see. So it's gonna happen like right around here. There. So the dart can go right up here.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Right. So that slows them down because this is very evident. Like they don't flash this for their good health. They're pushing it. Right.
Yeah,
it's like it's a very obvious sight take. So if you throw this right here, that stalls them out. They have to fully come out to break that dart. That gives your team ample amount of time to get into a better position to be able to defend the site.
Right.
I've got your trail.
They're already out on site. This is like big trouble. They're on your right as well. So
yeah,
you're pretty much dead in a few seconds here.
Spike down B.
I'm surprised it wasn't faster, but yeah. So that right there, what you could have done was that stall dart, and that would have been enough to be able to slow down their entire push. You could follow it up with a drone afterward to guarantee that they slow down a little bit more, and now your team's in good position to be able to take better fights. Okay, so big opportunity for you is enabling people with your utility, creating different styles of plays that you can make, trying to take map control, varying up the level of play. So using your dart to set someone up before taking space, that's like a big one. One of the things that Dink used to say all the time, he was one of our Radiant coaches, is that the difference between an Immortal 3 and a Radiant is how they set each other up. Yeah, like dart, like I'll give you another example. Okay, so you have a KJ on your team.
Right.
Why don't you do something like this? So KJ is going to set up all of her utility towards like this area, right? They do this all the time. How about we get this guy right over here? How do you think we can do that?
Can you repeat the question? I'm a little confused.
Okay. So KJ normally places her utility like this or something stupid like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
here, right? And this is like standard. Okay.
Mhm.
How about if we get what would you do to be able to get someone to place, or KJ to place a thing right here instead of that spot? How would you be able to get that there?
Just clear the main for her or something, so she
Yeah.
can walk up.
Throw a dart and have the KJ move up so that she can place that there. And now you can rotate out and you guys can stack towards A and middle, right? Because now we have more than enough ample information for if they're going to be coming towards B, right? The turret can now go over here instead. So now we have more time. Like that would be like one little play that you can make, and something that, you know, you can see Steel doing it. If you ever watched his IGL series, when he's playing in Premiere, he does this kind of setup where he uses Sova Dart to be able to move up and take that space and then plant an alarm bot deeper for him. Okay.
Gotcha.
Other plays you can do. You can do the dart play where you land it right back here. Your Omen can throw a flash right through here,
Yeah.
and then you can just push through A main. Have your Phoenix and have your Jet push through A main and fight this, right? The distraction of the dart plus the Omen blind. If the Omen blind hits them and the dart hits them, they won't be able to see the dart, and now it scans everyone and makes it really easy, right? These are the kinds of things that you want to be organizing and doing. And if you end up getting to this position where you throw all this stuff out and you see no one there, well, it's B. So let's start smothering them. We'll have these two wrapping through, right? You guys wrapping back the other direction and going this way. This is the kind of stuff that I don't see enough, right? And this is the difference between Radiance and Immortals is playing pucks. Push up. Take the space. Yes. 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 This is what I want to see. Limit test yourself. Figure out what's good, what's bad. I love this. Communicate to your team that you're flanking right now, so your Brimstone should be firing towards mid to distract them. This is what I call cat protocol. If you fire down here, everyone goes, oh, look at that, so there's a person over here. And what do? They say, oh, I like frags, I'm gonna go after this Brimstone. This is a frag, I like frags. While they're doing that, you walk up behind them, easy 3K, you collect the RR, you become a pro player, you make $1 million, you ride off into the sunset. It's very simple, right? So communicate that you're doing this. Carry mini map, I'm flanking, I'm almost behind mid. I'm behind mid. You guys distract, fire shots, anything. Oh, free kill, look at that. You know, imagine if you just coordinated a little bit more communicating. How much more cleaner this could have been.